From the depths of the underworld I emerged, yearning for a tangible form. Born from the darkest corners of the abyss, I am the embodiment of fear and despair, a dealer of dread. I am not of your world, your reality. I am a dweller of the shadows. The allure of the mortal plane was irresistible. Drawn to this energy, transcending the boundaries of my realm, I make my way to the moral planet. I found myself in the middle of the vibrancy of life. Roaming the mortal plane, I searched for a host through which I could wreak havoc upon the living. After some time of wandering, I found her, a vessel of flesh and bone, her spirit ripe for the taking. I could sense her spirit, a beacon calling for me. I began to weave my presence into her life, placing myself into her thoughts, her dreams. I whispered into her subconscious, my ancient voice becoming an inseparable part of her reality. She was unaware of my presence, but I was there, lurking in the depths of her psyche, an onlooker in the corners of her mind. I watched as she went about her daily life, her routines, her relationships, her joys and fears. All the while, I was there waiting for the right moment to make my move. I was patient, as time is a luxury afforded only to the immortal, and I had all the time in the world. As I observed her, I began to understand the complexities of her spirit. She was a creature full of hope and love. This made her an even more enticing host. And so, I began my work, slowly seeping into her spirit, corrupting her from within. I could feel her resistance, her spirit fighting against my intrusion. But her struggles were in vain. She was but a mortal, and I, a being of ancient malevolence, was beyond her comprehension. I reveled in her futile attempts to resist, the fear and confusion that I could sense in her spirit. I could feel her spirit weakening under my influence, her defenses crumbling under the weight of my malevolence. And with that, I knew that the first phase of my possession was complete. She was now my host, a puppet through which I could enact my dark plan. As I entwined myself with her essence, I reveled in the turmoil I brought to her. The sweet chaos was my masterpiece, a testament to my power and the fragility of mortal will. The woman's body, now my host, became a puppet under my command, her movements dictated by my whims. Her daily life morphed into a grotesque life. The mundane became the terrifying as she moved with an unnatural grace, her actions devoid of the warmth of humanity. Her voice, once melodious, was now a chilling echo of its former self. The tongues she spoke were not her own. The terror she instilled in those around her was palpable. Her loved ones recoiled in fear, their eyes wide with a horror they could neither comprehend nor escape. Their daily routines were shattered, their lives now revolving around the living nightmare that their beloved had become. Every cry of fear, every tear shed in despair, was a feast for my insatiable hunger. Their suffering was my sustenance, their terror my elixir. I fed on their dread, their hopelessness fueling my strength, their despair sweetening my victory. Yet even in the chaos and fear, I found a small form of joy. The destruction of a vibrant life was a testament to my power, a monument to my malevolence. With each passing day, I delved deeper into the recesses of her soul, sowing chaos and despair in my wake. Every sunrise marked a new chapter in her descent. Each day was a downward spiral into a world of dread and despair. Her laughter was now a hollow echo, a grotesque parody of the joy it once held. The woman she once was now lost in her own mind, a prisoner to me. Her dreams were now nightmares. The sweet slumber that was her escape had now become a battlefield. Her friends and loved ones saw the changes, the subtle shift in her demeanor, the light in her eyes fading, replaced by a chilling emptiness. They bore witness to her transformation. Her every thought, every emotion was tainted by my presence. Her joy was my sorrow, her pain, my pleasure. The woman's spirit was resilient, her will strong, but with every passing moment I wore her down, her resistance crumbling under the weight of my relentless assault. Her struggle was futile. Her despair was my delight, her torment, my triumph. Every tear she shed, every scream she uttered, was a symphony to my ears, a melody of misery that I played on repeat. But even as I consumed her from within, I knew that my time in this host was finite. The clock was ticking. I could feel her soul waning, the vibrant flame of her spirit flickering under my relentless consumption. A grim realization dawned upon me. The host, once ripe and full of life, was now a desolate wasteland, stripped of its vitality by my insatiable hunger. I savored the final morsels of her spirit, the last remnants of what had once been a vibrant soul. With each passing moment, the host grew weaker. As the final strands of her spirit slipped through my fingers, I prepared for the inevitable. The time had come to relinquish my hold on this host, to release her from my grasp. Yet even in departure, I reveled in the havoc I had caused. The shell that remained was a shadow of the woman she once was, a hollow echo of her former self, forever scarred by my malignant touch. And so, when at last I had drained her soul dry, I moved on. The departure from one host is not an end, but a mere transition. It is the closing of a chapter, the turning of a page in a story that is as eternal as the cosmos itself. My quest is unending, a horrific cycle that echoes in the halls of time. I am the whisper in the night, the chill that runs down your spine. I am the nightmare that haunts your dreams, the darkness that lurks in every corner of your mind. I am the embodiment of all that you fear, the manifestation of your darkest terrors. And so I continue my eternal quest, forever bound to the cycle of possession and torment, a harbinger of despair in a world teetering on the brink of oblivion.